Good morning, friends. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. It's been a bit. I'm glad to be here with you today. And I've got a message I want to share with you this morning that I hope is going to inspire you and call you not only that you take action for you, but you also increase and build your influence, use your influence to add value to somebody else today. And so, if you read in the comments up above or the post up above, and you're now listening to this video, not just going what I wrote, I want to go into the story. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet a young man. My wife and I was out and about. It was a Sunday, beautiful Sunday actually, and we got some incredible, beautiful weather coming. And it's just so you want to get outside. Well, we went to Walgreens. Well, we went from outside to inside, I guess. But we went to Walgreens, pick up some things. And those of you that aren't familiar with Walgreens, wherever you're at, Walgreens is like a local, it's not just local, it's nationwide actually, store that they is where you can pick up your pharmacies, get pharmaceuticals, you can get healthcare, food, all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you don't want to go to Walmart or the what are the big box stores are, go to Walgreens. So anyway, we go to Walgreens. And this is not a plug for Walgreens at all, but we go to Walgreens. And while my wife was in there shopping and picking up a prescription, I happened to go down an aisle picking up some items, and I saw this young man. This young man. Now, he was kind of rough looking. He was kind of hard looking. You know, he's had his arms loaded full of stuff. And at first, I thought I was going to go get him a basket. Then he put some stuff down. But as I walked by, I noticed something that we immediately had a connection. Now, this young man, well, he was on hard times. I mean, it was obvious. I didn't need to hear a story to know this man was on hard times. And in fact, well, I'd learned that this young man is actually homeless with his girlfriend with a baby, and so that really broke my heart because I see that a lot in Springfield, Missouri. It seems like it's just growing and growing and growing. We're getting more and more people that are actually on the streets, and there's no reason in the world why that should be happening. There are reasons it happens, but in a world of humanitarian efforts, we around the world, I think we really need to take care of our home front, take care of the people here. But so that's a sideline story. But what I want to get across to you this morning is I had this conversation, and the first thing that popped out to me is I'm from Texas. Those of you that follow me know me. You know, my home state and in my heart is always Texas. Well, I noticed he had on his neck, along with many other tattoos, but on his neck he had the Texas state, the shape of Texas, on his neck. And so, boom, instant connection. So I asked him. I said, "Hey, man," I said, "where are you from in Texas?" And he told me he's around the Beaumont area, Mount Port Arthur, and down that area. And that's down towards the coastal line of the Gulf. And so we started sharing a little bit. I told him where I was from in Texas, and as we were having this conversation, and I'll get to the meat of it without giving you the full course meal here. What we had a conversation because we had a long conversation. Actually, I got the chance to really spend some time with this young man, and what I learned about him was that he just got out of prison. He just got out of prison. It was drug related. Just got out of prison. He spent some time in prison. And he's also right now pending a case. He is probably most likely going back to prison for another offense. Now, he's one of these gentlemen that was not in jail, not incarcerated, yet he is charged with a crime. And that's another topic for another time as well, you know, in the judicial system, the way it's going in the country. But this young man had needs. This young man had dreams. This young man had hopes and desires. But here's what it is. He couldn't identify what they were. He just knew he wanted better. He wanted better, but he couldn't tell what that was. Because what I've learned is this young man grew up in this kind of environment. This young man became homeless. This young man made very bad decisions. He made these decisions based upon the life circumstances he found himself in. So he committed crimes. What this man didn't have is somebody to actually just stop and listen and take time to ask his story. And um, in what I tend to do is offer some encouragement. I offered, shared my faith with him. I learned that he believed in God, but he didn't know the scriptures, and he feared God in such a way that it was hard for him to look up to God for any hope. Now, I could also tell in our conversations this young man was not about to listen to a preaching story, did not want a preacher at that moment. And I know that sometimes a person who comes to you and preaches does not always help. Does not always help. Prayer, I will pray for you, does not always help. Now, I'm a strong believer in prayer, but I'm also a strong believer in action, right? Because I believe God wants us to have that conversation with Him, but then He wants us to get off our laurels and get up there and do something about it, be a part of the solution. Use the gifts, abilities, skills, and talents that God has placed within you to make a difference. Okay? So when I was talking with this young man and he had these dreams and aspirations, he couldn't exactly identify what they were. He just knew he wanted better, but he didn't know how to receive it. What I know is when there's are cases of uncertainty, when there's cases of overwhelm, when we have a big vision, but we only look at the big vision, it's overwhelm. Now, I don't care if you're a young man who's homeless and committed crimes trying to do something better for the life, or you're a person who's very successful, you have a Harvard degree, you have a business, you have a family, an amazing family, you still have big dreams. And if you focus on the big picture, you're going to get overwhelmed. And with overwhelm, feelings of overwhelm, you're not going to take the actions. Well, now wait a minute. There's so many actions I must take to get to there. I told him, I said, standing where we are, buddy, right now, standing where we are. If you look down at the very end of the aisle, you know you got to get there. But there's a lot of overwhelm in between here and there. You're going to get bombarded with all kinds of distractions from here to there, but your goal is there. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to just take that first step. It doesn't matter what the step is. It doesn't matter what the action is. Yeah, should we have a strategy? Absolutely. Should we be able to look back and say, I want to be there? What's the process to get there to help me identify what is my first step? But if that's not your thing, if you don't know how to strategize, then any step will do as long as it's that step towards that direction that you want to go. So I just said, buddy, don't look at the end of the aisle. Don't look at all the possible distractions that are on the left of you and the right of you and behind you. Well, you've already been. No. Look right here. What is it that you need right here in this aisle that's going to help you take that next step? Don't worry about 2 steps. Don't worry about 5 steps. Don't worry about 10, 20, 100 steps later. Worry about the next step. Matter of fact, I would say, let me scratch that. Okay. Don't worry about the next step. Be encouraged and motivated and inspired to take that next step. You may have feelings of overwhelm right now. You may have a big project you're working on. You may have an opportunity to serve in a community that needs exactly what you have, but the problem they're facing is huge. The next step. What's the next step? Just take that one. Now, Jay, what if I take the next step and it's the wrong step? You learn from that step, and then you take the next step. That's progress. Now, unfortunately, this young man, I do believe, and he knows he's going to prison, and he has a lot of concerns right now, not just the prison time, but the plight of his wife or girlfriend, rather, the plight of his daughter. What's going to happen there? Will they still be there when he gets out in a few months? These things. He has these things, so he's got a lot of overwhelm. And I made a post earlier, shared by my friend Peggy Strange, and so I gave her credit for that. But we don't know what's going on in the mind of somebody else. We don't know their situation in life. We don't know their hopes or dreams, their fears, what's been holding them back. We don't know the obstacles, challenges. We don't know that. That's why you and I, as influencers, as people truly want to make a difference in the lives of other people, we've got to be compassionate. We have to be empathetic. We have to be understanding. We have to be patient. We have to pause, take time, step back, and evaluate the situation. Ask ourselves, is this something I should approach? And if so, how, why, and what do I say? How do I do it? Why am I going to do it? Should I do it? And then what am I going to say? Know what to say. Everything should be that. We're always on a constant journey of adding value to the lives of other people. And if that's not you, then you got to ask yourself, am I a consumer of life, or am I going to be part of a contributing factor of life? Am I adding value, or am I just draining the world of its value and other people? What can I do today to add value to someone's life? Be self aware. There are going to be people that come across your path, you come across their path. There's going to be an intersection where you come together, and God's going to open up an opportunity for you to add value. You see, here's what I know about value. If I add value to you and you feel valued by that, learn and grow from it, you know what's going to happen? You're going to add value. You're going to pass that on to somebody else. It may just be in your emotions and your attitude. If I help you to improve your attitude for the day, your positive attitude is going to affect somebody else. That's going to give them a better attitude. Guess what? You're going to help me not just add value, but multiply value. And when you do that for somebody else and they do that for somebody else, you just multiplying your value to them. You see, we no longer should be looking at how do I add value, but how do I multiply value? The way we multiply value is we add value that encourages, inspires, and influences the others in such a way that it impacts their life and they carry that forward. Folks, I hope that encourages you today. It's a Monday. Get up, get out there. Listen, you'll never receive a Friday without a Monday, right? So don't look at Monday like it's a bad day. Monday is the start of a great thing. Monday is the start of a great ending. You know, if you want to end well, you've got to begin well. That's where attitude comes in. What is your attitude? What is your attitude about life? What is your attitude about others and their plight in life? When you see somebody that's kind of looks down and out on their luck, homeless, pushing a cart, wondering if they're going to have anything to drink or eat in the next minute, um, when you see them, what are you going to do about it? We can't save the world, but can we possibly impact and influence one person today? Just one. You've heard me talk about that before in the past. Just one act for one person on this one day. That's what we can do. My friends, it's good to have you on. Thank you so much for watching. Andrea, it's good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well and that beautiful daughter of yours. Have a fantastic day. Have an incredible week, and get out there and let's add value. Let's multiply our influence by adding value to one person at a time. All right, my friends. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.